Hey everyone, Matt Pisarcik from RazorEmporium.com coming at you today for a viewer requested video, a shave with the Rex Sovereign. Let's get started. We are all lathered up with my go-to for reviews, the most interesting soap in the world, Parasa White, for sensitive skin. I won't lie, I'm a little apprehensive about today's shave, just because, as I've said many times, I'm not a frequent flyer of the straight razors anymore. I did it for probably 2 years straight, back in my heyday, and then you got, kids, and now you're shaving with one of them up on the counter next to you, and you're trying to get their pajamas on as you're finishing up your aftershave routine. You know how it is, guys. So when I see a straight razor, I always get just a little bit apprehensive. I'm like, oh man, I haven't done one of these, for a long time. And then this razor, more than any other razor, is quite the chopper. So this is a razor that has had a long tenured history of R&D and development and practice of crafting these at Razor Emporium workshop and under the Rex brand name. This is something we make in our workshop. It's handcrafted by none other than our own Eric Engel, who's been a part of the team for 7 years now, maybe even 8 years. It took him years. I'm not exaggerating. Literally years of practicing grinding to get to the finished product like this you see today. I can't tell you how many dozens and dozens and dozens of blades that the steel I had to purchase and I had to pay him to grind. They were just thrown in the garbage can because they weren't good enough. So Eric has definitely done a ton of grinding, and he's a very modest person, and he wanted to be so good at it that by the time we started selling them, he knew they were good. Before that, he would even come to show me, hey Matt, here's one I ground today, and he would kind of make an excuse, oh, it's not perfect. I'm like, oh, it looks fantastic. He's like, yeah, no, it's not good enough, not quite yet. So very, very skilled guy, and had to develop the talent. And this is all the hollow grinding you see is done on a belt sander with a big contact wheel, like a 10-inch contact wheel. The jimps down here underneath are all hand filed with a little file just by hand. This back, the spine, it's called a worked back. That's all done again manually with combination of a Dremel and little files. Polished by hand. The scales are hand cut. It's obviously sharpened by hand. So it's definitely it's a handcrafted item. It's not made in some factory. It's not made from some blank we get from Germany. A lot of the razor makers get blanks sent to them, and they basically do some final grinding work, maybe some light grinding and polishing work, and they slap panels on it and they call it theirs. We start with a raw piece of steel, and it gets turned into this by hand. And I think it's pretty incredible. And with that being said, before my lather starts drying, we will give it a shave. So it's already been honed, it's already been stropped, so I'm going to pretend I'm just like one of you guys. You get it out of the bag, you get out of the shipping box, whatever, you start using it. Very nice. The width on this blade is 7/8. And yes, I'm rinsing it off underwater. Oh my gosh. I guess I could do the more appropriate thing. The thing I tell you guys to do, I will do myself, just to prove to you. What's good for the geese is good for the gander, right? So I'm wiping on a towel. It's just that this towel, I don't have a washing machine here in the studio, so I'm gonna have to wash it when I'm done. So more on the specs. This is '01 tool steel. And see, it's an old habit. Dies hard. I just rinsed it off again. So I'm trying to show a good practice of using a towel, just because, first off, I don't have the accident of going down here and maybe not looking carefully enough, or getting confused, or getting in a rush and dinging it, going ding and hitting it on the faucet. Number one. Number two, this is carbon steel. It doesn't need any more reasons to want to form rust on it. It already wants to form rust by nature. It's not stainless, right? And so adding water to it's just giving it more reasons to want to rust. So wiping it off on a towel is honestly the best thing you can do for it, because it involves no water and it's going to take all the lather off. The handles are rosewood. We played with some different options. When we first launched it, we had two options. We had a Kevlar and carbon fiber blend. So kind of a cool looking like basket weave that was blue and black, or blue and gray kind of. And I thought it looked kind of neat and was, really tough, because it's Kevlar and carbon fiber, like two of the toughest materials out there. But no one else seemed to think so. It was just me, I guess, because it didn't sell as well as a rosewood. If I'm not talking as much as normal, guys, it's because I'm trying to go really slow and careful. Wielding a 7/8 inch blade takes a lot of care and respect, and if you haven't done something like this for probably 9 months or a year, you gotta really make sure, and you're being filmed doing it, you gotta make sure you take your time. This is probably something that I wouldn't recommend for the beginner. When I tell people if they want to get involved with straight razor shaving, I always tell them, get a 5/8 round point, just because of how much easier it is to maneuver. This is a Spanish point, maybe a Spanish point, or even kind of a Spanish point with a barber's notch, if you really want to get technical here. Spanish point usually just means that kind of the front rakes forward, kind of comes forward a little bit. And then we even put a little notch in there. So this is something definitely kind of more for the advanced shaver. So another thing is that, using a straight razor is more of a meditative or kind of mental process. You're really focused and really thinking a lot about it. It's not like a double edge where I could think about all sorts of other things and talk to you about deep topics. And I'm especially being careful now because I'm using my left hand. And I actually have a nice little scar on this side of my face from using my 7/8 razor at home, and I was going too fast, not being careful. And I don't want to do that again. This part I may try to use my right hand. See how awkward this is? But I'm just out of practice. I'm going slow, guys. Another thing is that it takes quite a lot of practice and consistent usage of a straight razor to have that really close double edge, kind of experience. I'm experiencing that right now. I'm not getting as close of a shave as I would with a double edge. And it's not because the razor's not capable of it or it needs to be sharpened more or there's something wrong. It's because I'm out of practice and the angle, I'm kind of going with a very comfortable angle. I'm playing it safe, so to speak. I probably should have more angle and use a little bit more pressure than I am. And that kind of thing is again what you get out of daily straight razor shaving. Let me actually lather up my neck again just a little bit. Okay, quick little relather on my neck. I just wasn't really happy. We're in a cold studio this morning, and the lather wasn't fantastic to begin with, and I sat here talking so much that it kind of dried out just a little bit. So this is definitely the kind of razor people ask me, like, what's a good heirloom razor? They want to pass it down this. You could probably hone this for 50 years or 80 years of usage and still have plenty of meat left. You got to think every time you sharpen the razor, you're taking away metal, right? You're making this width smaller. You're also making the spine skinnier. And so that's why barbers' razors, or for barbers' use, are always bigger because they get more honing. And you see as I'm doing this, I'm pulling straight through. I'm not wiping, like I'm not trying to take the towel and like manipulate the edge. I'm just kind of pulling the edge cleanly through the towel. Definitely the kind of experience that you you're awake for. Other thing to keep in mind with the feel of a straight razor is you just simply have more material touching your face, so you have more surface area than, let's say, a double edge razor. And it's a thicker blade, so it's going to feel different. Even this is a hollow grind, right? But you still have a ton more material here. It's times like this, I'm happy I have a goatee and a mustache, so I don't have to shave it. I know there's people out there that are going to say I'm not really a wet shaver. That a true wet shaver shaves everything. They don't have a mustache and goatee because they shave everything. I always say, well, okay, why don't you shave your head too? Why stop at your face? Just keep on going. Shave it with a straight razor. I mean, that's what our guy Eric, who makes these, he has a big beard, but he shaves his head with these. Is he a real wet shaver? I guess not. I guess I just am. I'm competitive in business, but I'm not competitive in shaving, and I don't get why some people think that you have to do 3 passes to be a real wet shaver, or you've got to not have a goatee or mustache in order to be a real wet shaver. I don't get that at all. It's like, I don't define whether I'm a wet shaver or not based off of the surface area of how much I'm shaving. I like the way I look with a goatee and a mustache. So does my wife, and that's really all that matters. So that's probably as much as I'm going to do with this guy. It is fantastic. It's a great piece to use. Had I been using it every day for the last month, like I was told to do by my producer, I would have looked a lot more confident, but I didn't. But did I get a fantastic shave? I wouldn't say so. I think I got a good shave. If this was a passing grade, I'd get like a B. If it would have been an A plus if I had a lot more experience using this under my belt and been practicing for the last couple of weeks with a straight razor. I always tell people too who buy a straight razor from us, I always say, give it a month. Don't even form an opinion until you've had a month of shaving with it. Then tell me how you like it. Don't get it in the mail, do one shave with it and say, oh gosh, I couldn't get a good shave as close as my double-edged razor, I'm giving up. Like, these things take a long time to master, several weeks of a learning curve. It's not like a double edge where you figure out a double edge sometimes in the first shave or within 2 or 3 shaves. This is going to take weeks of practice to really master. And then even then, you have the stropping, and you got to make sure you're good with your stropping, or else you're dollying your edge, and if you're going to have compounds. So there's just so much involved with a straight razor shave that I don't want people to kid themselves. Don't buy this because you think it looks cool. And don't buy a straight razor for your first razor. You should always get a double edge or a shavette or an injector or single edge style razor first. Don't come from cartridges to this. You're going to have a bad time. You're not going to have good luck. Double edge definitely teaches you some of the kind of fundamentals like angle and pressure. You saw as I'm using this, I had to manipulate the angle, right? And then I'm having a skin stretch, and I'm having to determine how much pressure to use. So all those concepts, you'll at least learn using a double edge or a shavette or single edge, and then you can apply them to the mechanics now of holding a straight razor. You'll have a lot more success. But even then, if you're an accomplished double edge razor user, give a month at least for one of these to start feeling more comfortable. And again, I wouldn't even start with this razor. I would start with a 5/8 round point. So this is like advanced. Maybe use another straight razor for a couple of weeks, and if you really still want the big chopper, then get to the chopper, right? I'm not trying to downplay it. I'm not trying to be like a negative Nancy. I just want to be really honest and open and real that, if you want to buy one of these and put it in your bathroom just to kind of look cool, fantastic. We will accept your order and we'll ship it out, right? But if you want to have success using it and be competent, it's going to take a little bit of effort. But I think that effort's worth it. I think that effort is part of the art and the craft of traditional shaving, and I think that the juice is worth the squeeze, so to speak. I dream of a day that my kids are just a little bit bigger, and I'm not shaving in such a kind of a rushed manner at home, and I can get back into straight razor shaving, because The inspiration for this razor actually came from my personal J.A. Henkel's Freodor straight razor that's also 7/8 and also has kind of a similar work back and a similar Spanish style tip. So it's near and dear to my heart, and I love this razor, and I loved working with Eric to develop the way it looks and having it part of the Rex line of our products. But it definitely takes a little bit more work, a little more skill, a little more practice, but everything in life that's worth it does, right? That's what we're here for. If it was easy, anyone would do it. If this was something simple you could just pick up and start using, everyone would do it. There's a reason why it's a skill, right? It takes a little more time. So that's all I got. I put my aftershave balm on. I have a passable shave. And I am going to myself look forward to practicing more of straight razor shaves so I can look more confident up here for you guys. But I didn't want to BS my way and just be like, yeah, this is easy, this is great. No, I'm just kind of being real with you guys today. So that's all I got. If you have a Rex Sovereign straight razor, tell me how you like it in the comments. If you have another giant 7/8, 6/8, 8/8 straight razor and you're an expert at it, how long did it take you? Any other advice or things that I'm missing, tell me below in the comments. And if you do leave a comment, you're entered to win this, the official Razor Emporium Black and Blue t-shirt. That's all we got for you guys today. Thanks so much for tuning in. Please subscribe to our channel, like this video, share it with your friends, and we'll see you next time at Razor Emporium for all things vintage shaving. Thanks, guys.